How much recovery are we looking at in the longer term? How will this process really, begin?
So this follows on from the ordinance that came out a few weeks ago. So this is the next step. So as I discussed when we last met, that we are not going to try and resolve the whole gamut of the problem, but specifically look at the very largest cases, something like 40 to 50 of the largest cases. Now, so as a part of that, we have now identified 12 defaulters. They are very large defaulters, as you yourself pointed out. Something like 25% of the whole NPA problem is accounted for by this lot. Now, the question here is what happens next? So the process has now been started. The bankruptcy process doesn't mean that every last cent of this is going to be liquidated. That's not the case. Now what happened is now there is a time-bound process. And what happens, some of it may get resolved, some of it may get bought off by ARCs or other parties. But in the end of that process, whatever is left over will be liquidated. So this is now, in a sense, a inevitability to this machine now. It will, resolve, if not, liquidate.
Bankruptcy is usually a long drawn process, and the fact that, we're looking at 6 to 8 months, help me understand, will there be enough takers in the market for a lot of these assets, and how, when can we really start this money trickling in with respect to the banks?
So it's a long drawn process, but at the end of the day, this process has been festering for years. Now we are talking in days. The process normally takes something like, I think, 180 days. After that, it can be extended by 90 days. It's not obvious that it will. So let's say that this process now begins to take form. Now remember, some of this stuff is already in front of the NCLT. So in a sense, some of that time has already been used up. So it's not like we're starting at point zero. And then, then these things will begin to fall in place. If not, as I said, at the end of the process, we liquidate.
No number on the recovery yet. Could you help us understand which are the sectors where we could see more action? Which are the sectors which actually make a part of these 12 accounts?
Well, I'm not in a position to give the list. As you know, it's the Reserve Bank's prerogative to announce them. You're all intelligent people. I'm sure you'll have a good guess of what these are, but I am not in a position to tell you what they are yet. But let me assure you that they are across several sectors, and what we will recover, we will find out. The whole point of going through this process is to find out in a transparent way. I do not want to guess what will happen. The whole point of a market-based solution is that the market takes a decision of how much these things are valued. It is not for the government to announce that.
This is also going to be a very clinical process because a lot of these discretions have been removed. Do you believe this will significantly change the mindset of a lot of these promoters?
I think this is a transparent process, and it is a time-bound and clean process. As far as mindset is concerned, well, I think the message will go out that this is a environment where eternal evergreening is of loans is no longer acceptable. But I do want to add a caveat here that we do not also want to create a mindset where genuine business failure is seen somehow as being a moral failing or something. If you are going to move on to being a genuinely entrepreneurial economy where people take risks, then you will have failures, and there has got to be. We need to remove the social stigma to this, to occasional failure. So I think the key here is that we should take it as a mature economy, that there will be failures, and when there are failures, we need to clean it up.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.